Hello guys. Welcome to Diablo the Primordial. This video is the continuation video after Rimuru Grand Entry. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. And please check out my second channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensura. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. She tore and cut the angels freely with slashing attacks using her tails. With the 8 pets spread out to defend her, there was no such thing as letting the enemies live. From what I saw, the Dragon Kings were in high spirit. They used powerful breath and grand magic in their dragon form. Not only with her individual's fighting strength, but Apido also commanded her subordinates like her limbs and annihilated the enemies. There was no other word except brilliant. They trampled over the enemy with the momentum of one sting one kill through their perfect coordination. Fused with various spirits, the Dryad sisters were strengthened to former Demon Lord level. And, the worst case was Trainee San, which had energy comparable to an awakened Demon Lord. It seemed that Trainee San had fused with a Spirit King. She fired extreme magic with tremendous power in a rapid succession. Just like that, in a short period of time, the outcome was clear to anyone. I was also worried at first, but halfway through the fight, I watched while enjoying a cup of black tea. Well, after all, no matter how you looked at it, our side's fighting power was too excessive. Any losing factors couldn't be found. As expected of the high-ranking war potentials stationed on the 70th floor and below inside the labyrinth, because they usually couldn't play an active role, their rampaging appearances when given the opportunity to do so was incredible. While looking at their appearances, I absent-mindedly ended up thinking that it might be impossible to capture the labyrinth even with an army of a large country's size, but I will keep that was a secret. Besides of their achievements of repelling the Empire army, naturally, everyone had become stronger from that time, but once things calmed down, it would be better for me to discuss the adjustment of the labyrinth difficulty. No matter how you thought about it, it was very unlikely for humans to be able to capture it. About the battle, when our victory was certain and only the enemy general was left. Ah, my san. So Shinji, who had become Ramira's subordinate, muttered. It seemed the enemy's commander was an acquaintance of his. I heard stories not just from Shinji but also from Mark and Jen. The name of the enemy's commander was Furuki Mai. She obviously had the energy of an awakened Demon Lord class and ruled over the angels. However, she was originally a bit stronger than the three of them. Was she really just a bit stronger? So I strongly asked them. A bit, no, quite. Well, I have never won against her, but she was absurdly strong. Mai's ability was the unique skill Traveler. It's an absurdly strong cheat ability that allows her to use teleportation to places she had visited once. The combination of her skill and her long-range weapon was ruthless. So, the three of them answered evasively. It seemed that the trio had never won even when together. From Shinji's last explanation, it was very unlikely for normal people to win against that skill. After all, even for me to do teleportation without time lag was impossible unless I combined several abilities. It was natural that the trio couldn't win. She was an ordinary quiet girl and a high school student in Japan. As one of Yuki's henchmen, she had adored Yuki before he became Velda. She was very serious. Also, she seemed to believe in Yuki's words that he will finalize the repatriation technique. I was told that she seemed to be worried about her younger brother that she had left on the other side and is constantly researching for a technique to cross between worlds. She was like that, but her unique skill Traveler was restricted to this world and it seemed that she was unable to go to the other world. However, if she combined her unique skill Traveler and Yuki's Summoner, it seemed that crossing to another world wouldn't be just a dream. She believed that and cooperated with Yuki for all this time. Once I understood that, Shinji opened his mouth as if to say something but then closed it. Apparently, he had something he wanted to say. So I thought and called him out. What, is there something you want to say? Well, you see. Was it something really hard for him to say? He stopped speaking halfway through. Hey, that's impossible as expected. I also think that's not good. The other two stopped Shinji. I didn't know what he wanted to say, but I gradually became curious about it. I'm sorry. Please forget about it. Oh, geez. Can't you just say it? Because Shinji was hesitating to say it and tried to swallow his words, I decided to forcibly get him to talk. Then, what he wanted to say was simple. It was, please, I want you to save Furuki Mai. It seemed they were on good terms among otherworlders because they came from the same country. Sorry, it's just my selfishness. I do understand that I'm asking for the impossible with it, but Shinji remorsefully apologized. Well, I was the one who asked him though. Wait a moment, Shinji. Even Rimuru can't do anything about it. It will incite antipathy from everyone and he will not able to keep his dignity as a demon lord. When her subordinate started to say something outrageous, Ramirez came panicking to mediate the matter. Well, I wonder. I thought it wasn't something to be flustered about to that extent. After all, I was quite selfish myself. But, we already knew that, right? Ha ha ha, Ramirez-sama, our loyalty will not waver by such a thing. That's right. In the first place, if we cared about such a thing, we would have massacred every hostile. However, that's not the case, right? That lazy demon lord over there was an enemy we fought until just a little while ago. Benimaru broad-mindedly denied Ramirez's concern and Shuna affirmed Benimaru's words while looking down at Dino with eyes as if she was looking at trash. It seemed even Dino felt uncomfortable with that gaze, so he stopped lying down on the sofa and seated himself on a chair. And then, he nonchalantly nodded. Oh well, Rimuru wouldn't mind about such a thing. So, he tried to settle it with good vibes but got his head whacked with a tray by Shuna. It kind of felt like, you're not someone who can say that, so he reaped what he sowed. So, what will you do, Rimuru-sama? Should I order them not to deal the final blow for the time being? Benimaru asked me. Shinji and his group looked with hopeful eyes at me. There might be no need to discuss it since things had reached this point. If they were my companions, then they would know my answer even if I didn't say it. Rest assured, Shinji. If she swears not to be hostile towards me, I will save her. Really? Yes. However, it's only if she's not hostile, okay? If so, then no problem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. When I accepted the request, not only Shinji, but Mark and Jen also said their gratitude. I wished that they would have said it after I saved Mai. As expected of Rimuru. That's the spirit. Ramirez smacked my back while smiling from ear to ear. So I made a promise without due consideration as usual and went outside of the labyrinth to stop Mai. Well, now. I left the rest of the things to Benimaru and flew towards the sky. I ordered Diablo, who was accompanying me, to go ahead. Kufufufu, leave it to me. I shall buy time until Rimuru-sama arrives. Yay, I leave it to you. It seems that the Heaven Gate has been destroyed, but as expected those three wouldn't be able to defeat Velda after all. Looks like it. This presence is indeed frightening. I will have to hurry a little. Saying so, Diablo transferred and went ahead. If it was the current Diablo, he would be able to buy some time until I arrived. I was a bit worried, but I decided to leave it to him. Either way, it was necessary to buy some more time. Since my energy was still recovering, I had to absorb a large amount of energy from the defeated angels. I thought that it would fine if I were to persuade Mai while absorbing the energy. However, that thinking was naive. When I held up my hand and tried to absorb the energy with soul consumption, the energy quickly transferred and disappeared. It seemed that the angels were set to return automatically to heaven when they got defeated. Because it can't be helped, I gave up on eating the angels and went towards Mai's position. Mai was actually strong. Even though they were fighting as not to kill her as Benimaru instructed, it seemed that no one could touch her. Trainee San didn't participate in the fight, but the Dragon Kings couldn't be her opponents. That alone was incredible, but it was a surprise that even Apito was being toyed with by Mai. As expected from someone who had mastered teleportation. Incredible. Without losing her spirit even though the angels were annihilated, Mai calmly continued fighting. She probably had an indomitable spirit. I could understand why Shinji and the others fell in love with her. Although normally someone would fall into despair in a situation like that, she was still fighting while believing she could win. Judging from what I saw so far, teleportation was really troublesome. Even though Apito was superior in terms of speed, Mai dodged all of Apito's attacks. I guess there was no chance of victory for Apito here. However, Kumara would definitely win against Mai. But, this time I would be her opponent. If it was Kumara, she would win, but she would definitely end up killing Mai. It has been a while, Rimuru-sama. Kumara, who noticed me, came flying and behaved like a spoiled child. She's cute, but currently it wasn't the time for it. Kumara, go deal with the remnants of the angels. Understood. Kumara obediently obeyed my order. It seemed that she was able to relieve some stress with a bit of rampaging around. Apito, who was fighting against Mai, also noticed my presence and stopped her fight to yield the fight to me. My strength was still not enough. I wanted to neutralize her without troubling Rimuru-sama, but Apito frustratingly bowed. Don't worry about it. Even if you assess things just from an energy standpoint, your opponent has more than twice of yours. If you think of it that way, you're incredible, you know. I said so and comforted her. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my earlier videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And please check out my other channel Top Anime Sensei for the light novel of Tensura. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.